Welcome to the first episode of WIZLAND with Wiz. Happy to be with you guys today. Honestly, this is officially the first episode of the podcast WIZLAND, and today we're gonna just introduce myself to you guys. My name is Wiz. I am currently an artist that is building his business from the ground up. But the purpose of this particular podcast is to bring to you guys content that has to do within sports, the arts, business, self development, and entertainment. I truly believe that at this moment we have the biggest opportunity to bring and create our dreams a reality. It is something that I've been kind of thinking about for the longest. Should I make a podcast with a video to it? I listen to a lot of podcasts. I've been listening for two podcasts for about 4 or 5 years now. And it's time. I truly feel like it's time for me to bring my own kind of take into things, into the internet. Just because I do feel that it is a big opportunity, and when I do get older, I want to be able to share this information with my kids and with my kids, my grandchildren. I mean, it is an intentional thing that I'm doing because that is what I'm looking to do in the future. But having said that, today's topic, me saying this, that the certain things that I want to bring to you guys, today's going to be about trying things. The main message about today of today's podcast is to try things. Why try things? Because you never know what you're gonna get from them. Sometimes we don't even know what we're good at until we try things. Sometimes we think that we might not be good at certain things, and then until we try them, we see that we're actually good at them. So one of the main concepts that I've learned through life and learned through the instances and the trials that I've gone through is that we are our biggest critics. And sometimes nobody but yourself knows that. Nobody but yourselves knows that sometimes we're harder on ourselves than anyone else could be on ourselves. That's my current scenario. Right now, I came from the gym, worked legs, did legs, which is one of my least favorite workouts, just because it's very intense. You have to really be focused. You're pushing yourself to the limit, and it's pretty. And I feel like shit the next day. That's the main reason I hate it, because I feel this like shit the next day. My legs hurt. I'm dragging. I can't even jog or none or whatever. But that's one of the excuses that my brain's kind of has made up for me. It's telling me every time you do legs, you feel like shit. You feel like shit the next day, and sometimes I have to override that. I have to stop and think that I do want to get bigger legs. I do want to develop my leg muscles. So me doing the workout is gonna help me get to that goal that I have kind of set for myself. And that's the tricks that sometimes our brain plays with us, and sometimes we're not even aware of that. Sometimes we don't even think about that because it's become so second nature to fear things that we've never done before. So whenever you think about that, and this is based on just solely experience, it's based solely on my everyday, because if there's not one thing, it's always another where I have to kind of override myself and my initial thought, because usually it's my brain telling me, no, you cannot do this because it is. For example, this podcast, I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but for whatever reason, my brain was like, you're too tired. Um, it's late. Currently, it is 11:36 p.m. on a Friday night. Instead of me being with my chick right now, I'm doing a podcast. So my brain is kind of playing those tricks with me. It's like, you're not with your chick. Why you should have gone over there. You should have been over there. You work tomorrow. You just worked out. Like my mind is playing different tricks with me, where I have to be the one kind of shutting it off and be like, you know what, right now, I have to do this podcast because it's gonna prove it to myself that I'm able to do this, when I'm thinking about so many other things. So when things are like that, because trust me, I go through this every single day. When things are like that for you, just maybe do the thing that you initially wanted to do, so you can, so you overwrite your thought of not doing them, and you can kind of prove it to yourself that you're able to kind of keep promises that you make to yourself. That's one of the biggest things that I've kind of made a change to, and I'm trying to improve this because we tend to do things that we promise other people that we're going to do, and when we don't do them for them, we are very disappointed in not doing them or not being able to follow through. But when we do those things to ourselves, we kind of forget about it. We forget ourselves, and then usually what's that, we don't realize that by us doing that, we're basically making ourselves liars. We're telling ourselves we're gonna do something, but we don't do it. We're gonna go to the gym at this time, but we don't do it. We're gonna be at work on time, but we don't do it. I'm gonna start my business tomorrow, but we don't do it. I'm gonna start a new diet tomorrow, but we don't do it. There's always something that will come up that is going to stop you from kind of trying to reach that next step or that next goal. And that's something I've actually learned from me starting my own business, for me trying to get better, for me trying to make more money outside of just the general 9 to 5. Nothing wrong with that, but you have, if you want to have certain, if you want to attain certain goals in your life, you have to be able to do certain things that maybe are not conventional to get to those places. And that's something I've learned through years, man. Like, you cannot just become a millionaire by working for someone. You have to be able to create your own content. You have to be able to create your business. You have to be able to create something for the market, for the public. If you sell shirts, you have to make sure those shirts are badass. If whatever services you have to try to be the best that you can be at those services, so you can actually create a business that with time will grow. And that's my main thing. If you're thinking about something, whatever it might be, wherever you're currently at, and I'm not trying to be a guru, none of this. I'm just kind of introducing myself because these are the things that I'm going through right now. That I was like, you know what, this would be a good topic to start off the podcast with, which is trying new things, because this podcast is in itself is me trying something new, me trying to put myself on a video. I have a couple cameras here, recording myself, trying to bring something to you guys, and trying to put myself out there. Trying new things can be one or two things. It's gonna either expose or kind of like show you that this is something you want to keep doing, or it's gonna keep showing you that this is something that it was cool while you tried it, but maybe it's not for you. But if you don't do it, you're not even gonna know. You're not gonna know if you like it, if you don't like it. And this, obviously, you have to put this into certain steps. You cannot use this method in everything, right? Obviously, there's certain things that you shouldn't do. Like, you don't have to really know that. You don't have to fall off a cliff to know that will kill you. But certain things like this, like creating content, like trying to make a podcast, like trying to make your own studio, make art, whatever it is that you're doing, trying to make your own movie, trying out for a particular team at school, trying to become a lawyer, whatever it is that you have kind of thought about, sometimes you're not going to know if it is meant for you unless you actually do it, unless you actually try it. There's always going to be opinions from everyone around you telling you maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that, maybe you shouldn't do any of that. Maybe you should just do what your gut is telling you. And sometimes I learned that that's sometimes the best way to go, because I end up doing it anyways to see if I'm right or wrong. But sometimes you might have good people around you, and they might give you a good a good opinion, and they might trying to help you. So you have to be able to kind of analyze who you have around you. So today's podcast, if you get anything for today's podcast, try something new. Whatever it is, as small as you might think it is, it could be as maybe waking up a little bit earlier than usual because you want to do something before you go to work. You want to eat breakfast before you go to work. You don't want to be rushing anymore. Maybe go to the gym at a particular time. Maybe run today. For me, on a day to day, I have a thing called the Power List that I actually adopted from Andy Frisella, which is a podcast entrepreneur, a businessman, somebody that I personally think he's pretty cool. And I've been listening to this guy's podcast for a while. Back in 2017, 18, I found his podcast. It's been very helpful. That was my first initial kind of like podcast that helped me get out of my own habits, bad habits. And ever since then, I've been able to adopt the Power List and implement to my life. Currently, I do it. I had to restart it because I had not done it for a long time, but I noticed that I was kind of falling off in a lot of areas. My fitness, my art, my commitment to reading and things of that nature, I was leaving all of that off. So I have to restart a new process. So right now I have 5 critical tasks that I have to achieve on a day-to-day basis. Every time I achieve those 5 critical tasks, I put a W on the sheet, and that is considered a win for the day. Once I complete those 5 tasks, I'm done for the day doing, and then I can do whatever the hell that I want to do. So that's been very helpful. I've started reading again. Currently, I'm reading Seth Godin's Lynchpin, which is a pretty good book for the amount of pages that I've read so far. It's pretty intriguing. It's pretty kind of self-explanatory in a way because I'm literally trying to implement what I'm reading. Me doing content, me bringing some type of information to you guys and trying to create a community based on what my experiences are and my experiences have been. That's one of the main reasons I want to do the podcast. And kind of the linchpin has kind of helped me getting over my own fear of putting myself out there. Just being honest. I'm currently learning Photoshop. I'm committing myself an hour a day to try to actually learn Photoshop, and they just do the basic stuff, but learning it, understanding what each tool does. So I'm doing an hour a day. I'm doing ZBrush an hour a day as well, which is a sculpting tool. So if you're not an artist, what ZBrush is basically it is an application that you can use to render 3D objects, can be helpful for any type of sculpting, or if you want to create a toy, that will definitely be a 3D render process. So I'm learning that program as well. So I'm doing 1 hour a day. Last but not least, that's the 3 things: reading 1 hour a day, 1 hour a day for Photoshop, 1 hour a day for ZBrush, doing the 10 pages a day. So I'm reading the linchpin 10 pages a day, and also I am currently creating 1 art piece a day. So that means I'm either drawing one piece, I'm either creating it in Photoshop, or I'm either trying to create it in ZBrush. But creating 1 art piece start to finish. That's the point. Creating 1 art piece start to finish. Last but not least is creating and thinking about 5 content ideas. I want to take my own personal content to the next level. So I'm thinking about ideas, and the way that I'm doing this process is by going into YouTube, going into Instagram, looking at what people are talking about, looking at thumbnails, looking at how people are doing their podcast. That's what I'm doing to kind of keep myself informed, keep myself in the loop, and learning and applying as I go. So that's my power list right now. I definitely advise this power list principle because it is a tool. that I have found very, very helpful. It is something that has kind of helped me get better at certain things when I actually apply the power list. And I think and I believe that if you do the same, you will see the benefits of it. The thing is that you have to be committed, man. You have to write it down. Here's my daily tracker. Have to write it down. You have to stay committed. You have to be real with yourself. If you don't do it one day, you take a L. And it's as simple as that. After 21 days, you kind of analyze it and see if certain things if you're winning at certain things, then cool. Then you can take them off your list and replace them with new habits. If you see that for whatever reason you miss that certain things for a lot of times, then maybe you still need more time with that particular critical task. So after 21 days, review it. If you see that whatever task you have been able to complete, let's say for the next, if you complete it, for example, for me, if I've been able to read 10 pages for 21 days straight, it's time for me to remove that habit because it's become a habit and put something else in there. If for you, let's say you don't go to the gym, you want to start going to the gym, write a critical task, go to the gym every day for 45 minutes or an hour. Every time you do that, you write it down. So it's as simple as that. So, but yeah, guys, that's gonna be today's podcast. If you listen to the podcast, appreciate it. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for clicking the video. A lot of things will be coming in, man. I'm telling you, I'm excited about it because I have so many thoughts about this, so many ideas about it. From talking about sports season when football starts. Currently, basketball season is hot right now, so we're definitely gonna get into it. They're currently in the playoffs. I don't have no dog in the fight right now, to be honest. The Houston Rockets sucked this year. We were the worst team in the entire league. So, honestly, I don't have no dog in the fight. But it looks promising for the Suns. It looks promising for the Golden State Warriors as well. And also, I think Giannis is a beast, so he might repeat. But regardless to say, we're going to talk about basketball, soccer. I'm a Real Madrid fan. Also a Manchester United fan. I always adopted those two teams as my main teams because of Ronaldo, CR7, which is still killing it at age 37, I believe. So we're going to talk about all these things, man. Football, I'm a Raiders fan, man. I'm wearing a Raiders hat right now. So you can definitely see and know that I'm a Raiders fan. With Adams being traded over from Green Bay to the Raiders, man, I'm excited about this upcoming season. So I think the Raiders are gonna be good this year. They were good last year, but I think this year is gonna be the year. Hopefully McDaniels doesn't fuck it up, but I don't think so. I think it's gonna be a good thing that McDaniels came in, and he's gonna take the team to the next level. So yeah, guys, happy to be with you, and thank you for joining me once again. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.